Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will call the Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee to order. The first item on our agenda is to approve minutes, and that will be the June 1st meeting where we were dealing with the schools. Okay, from Commissioner Schaefer, seconded by Commissioner Jordan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Our investment report given by our trustee, Mr. Beatty. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. You have your reports. It's kind of, we didn't have any bids over the last month. LGIP went up 3 basis points, so everything's kind of routine this month. Wow. Better than the drop.
Motion to approve 3 basis points.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Beatty.
Thank you, ma'am.
And move if they keep going up.
Okay, if you will locate your fund condition report, we will begin with the development tax report. Mrs. Nolan.
For May, we received $68,250. It brings our total up for the year, $1,257,750.
Okay, moving to cash balances.
Cash balances are total at the end of May, $163,720,000, with $145,222,000 being operating funds, $18,498,000 being borrowed funds.
Is there anything specifically that you need to call attention to as we get the end of the year?
As we're getting toward the end of the year, you'll see that we'll be making several adjustments to revenue. I gave you revenue sheets. All funds pretty much are smiling except for the drug control fund.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Any further discussion or questions for Mrs. Nolan?
I got a question. Usually at the end of the year, we find a lot of these departments do spend all their money. So how are you viewing that one this time?
I mean, we'll still have I'm still estimating that they will be returning money back at the end.
More than you hope for or less?
Well, I'm on.
No, till they turn it back.
Well, I mean, you got.
Well, I have an estimate. We're estimating over $1 million will be turned back in.
I'm sorry.
Over $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 2.
Any further discussion?
These zero balances down through here, just trying to take these off, like some of these schools that we've done, finished out the project.
We will when you get negatives on both sides,
Oh, okay.
or zeros on both sides. Probably when we go into next year, you'll see a lot of them roll off.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. I will ask Mr. Bolden to join us, please, at the table for item 4, which is a resolution of the Industrial Development Board authorizing the issuance of up to $22,718,000 of Recovery Zone Facility Revenue Bonds. If you will remember, gentlemen, the Commission had a I need to tell you to turn to Section 8. I'm sorry. Section 8. And you will remember that the Commission adopted a resolution in February designating Rutherford County as a recovery zone, and that amount at the time was $12,718,000. And you remember we were told that if that money was not allocated, that would go back into a pot, and that could be reallocated. And as a result of that, Mr. Bolden is coming tonight to inform us that this number will be amended by $10 million.
Yes, ma'am. There was an authorization or a reallocation of that money that came back to the state from Commissioner Kisper at Economic and Community Development, and we were allocated an additional $10 million on top of the $12,718,000. So we're essentially allocating the additional $10 million to the medical office building project that we spoke about the last time we came up. So all we're doing tonight is asking to increase the number, the not-to-exceed amount for the issuance of the bonds.
Okay, so we're just amending that amount.
Yes, ma'am, there's no other substantive change.
Okay.
Do we not have any more applications or applicants for this? So they needed more, so we're gonna give them more.
Well, and the timing of it was such that we didn't have, it was too late for anybody else to apply, so if...
Even for this additional $10 million?
Well, no, I mean, it's allocated to this particular project. But if you're asking me, could anybody else other than this medical office building applicant apply, my answer is no, because the time within which to do that is gone. The commissioner just allocated the unused volume cap that came back into the state, and I'm sure there are plenty of other projects out there that got reallocated additional money, and we were just fortunate enough to get $10 million of that.
Well, I'm proud they're getting it. I'm just spread it around a little bit.
It would be nice if it could be done, but we're in the same boat that we were in February, and that is, namely, if we don't use it on this project, it's just gone.
So move, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin. Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Any further discussion or questions for Mr. Bolden? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bowen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Item 5, our insurance report. And I am going to ask Mrs. Stevenson, our HR director, to join us also and introduce our new insurance director.
Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Stinson. She comes to us from, I'll have to read because she's got a healthy background, Health Cost Solutions, where she was worked for 6 years. She started out as a director of claims, went into VP of operations, later became the president, and then went on to do some consulting because she wanted to do some other things and spend time with her family. Prior to that, she worked for CNA for 5 years, where she started as a claims analyst and ended up the general manager of life and long-term care claims. She has her bachelor's degree in health education from MTSU, and she also has her HIA certification from the Health Insurance Association of America. So she and her husband live in Rutherford County and have for 14 years, and they have 2 children. And so I just wanted to welcome Melissa to the team. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we, yes.
Our employees are looking younger and younger.
Let's not answer that question. And we will begin by letting you start with financials. And this looks familiar to us.
Good. Keep it consistent for you. If you refer to the insurance fund performance documents, the per employee per month for medical and dental in May is $630.66 compared to $780.25 for the same period during the year. The detail, the graph will give you an indication of it, and the detail is on the second page as well.
Everyone remember she's been here 10 days now, so she's really, she's really on this stuff.
That's right. I'm learning it quickly. The average cost per employee per month for the year in May was at $680.90 compared to $675.22 for the same time in the prior year. When you combine the medical, the dental, and the experience at Care Here during the month of May, the year-to-date average is at $712.79. Prior year during the same period was at $705.15. The good news is overall the plan is trending currently at 1.1% as of the end of May, so we're seeing just a slight increase from prior years, so that indicates that we have a healthy plan. Are there any questions about that before we move on to OJI?
Doesn't this also, if we're using the Care Here, that helps us in the long run, right? Because it makes it less expensive for the county if the employees use Care Here as opposed to go to a private physician or something?
The Care Here numbers are tallied in with information that I provided. Yes, what not only does it help in controlling the cost, but what it also provides an opportunity for is those individuals who may not have a primary care physician already established, so we don't have exacerbation of conditions inside of the county employees because they have immediate care to a physician through Care Here. So there's some hard and soft savings inside those numbers. Okay. On the work injury fund performance, regarding the OJI program, year-to-date costs as of May totaled $857,818, representing 68.48% of last year's cost. If you look at the chart, which is the second page, you will see on the first page, the chart shows you how the numbers are slowly transitioning from work comp into OJI. And that is obviously because of the program that we originated with OJI and the work comp claims being closed out. On the second page of the chart, you will see that in May of 2009, we had a $828,000 change to the reserves, and that was the result of an actuarial study that we had done through Select Actuarial Services. We have been providing them data for the last week as now we are doing another annual review of actuarial assumptions, and we expect to see another change in the reserves as a result of that.
A positive change?
We expect to, yes.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
We like positive changes.
Yes. On my first time, I wanted to bring you good news.
Right. Motion to approve the report.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin. Seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wait, got one more.
Oh, we got one more thing.
Oh, that's
Next page.
right. Yes, turn please to Section 9. Section 9. And we do have a recommendation from the Insurance Committee to award life insurance carrier to the Standard. That is in Section 9, the first 2 pages in that section. And Mrs. Stevenson and Mrs. Stinson, do we need to introduce anybody else that is with you tonight?
We have Jay
They've
Cowan
got
with
it.
us, who
They've
is
got
the
it.
broker.
They got it.
It's
Those are additional. Oh, did you put that in there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there.
Let me see it first.
okay.
This is Jay Cowan, he's the broker. Jay Brown.
Everybody calls me Jay.
Jay
I wish I was
Jay Brown from Cowan, who's the broker for the Standard, and this is Jay Woodruff, who would. Lisa has already included in your packet the breakdowns. There are a couple of things, and I broke it out a little bit differently between our current carrier and the Standard, which they brought some more to the table, was the guarantee issue amount went from $150,000 to $300,000, which was really a benefit to the county. Some of the additional things, it says spouse insurance will terminate when spouse attains age 70. With our prior carrier, our current carrier as of today, it would terminate, but with the Standard, it would not. The rates went for basic life for the employee from .115 to .105, and the basic accidental death and dismemberment went from .02 to .015. Pretty much all of the rates went down. The only rate that was higher, that the Standard offered that was higher, was under the dependent rates per age band for supplemental life. Under age 30, for their plan was .08, and the Hartford was .07. But in all other areas, they were less. Some points of interest that were also things that we liked. They have a program called the Line of Duty, and it is for the public service employees, which it would be the sheriff's office, ambulance service, correctional work center, juvenile detention, emergency management, that if any of these individuals die in the line of duty, they double. were. Their benefit, yes, they double their benefit. So, we thought that was something that was of value, especially for those people who are out there, protecting and serving us. Another point of interest was that they do an experience rating refund. So if we end up having a good experience year as opposed to a bad, they apply that to what we paid in, and they can give us a refund portion back of that. If you'll tell them a little bit, you just recently refunded someone.
Sure, it was in Georgia. We actually do pay out refunds. We delivered a check to DeKalb County, Georgia, for $800,000. They pulled out.
So we thought that was pretty significant, that if we didn't utilize the funds that they had reserved for it, that we would be refunded. We thought that was a huge advantage to us. And there's several other points of interest. Financially, all the companies were stable, but they had some better ratings. And trying to think, if there's anything else. And their basic life was an all guarantee issue for up to the first $300,000, which was a benefit. And the other thing was the spouse of the employee. The employee did not actually have to take the life insurance in order for the spouse to. So say I didn't want to take the insurance, but the life insurance, my husband could. And with our current carrier, we can't do that. And then from a financial standpoint, one of the things that we had looked at based on the coverage and the rates that we had, we were going to be seeing a reduction in rates from what we currently have. And that was going to be able to give us the ability to raise our life insurance policy for our employees from $30,000 to $35,000 without incurring any additional cost to the county, which we thought that was a huge asset as well. Any questions or?
I'd just like the price per thousand of basic life for the employee. It says it's 10.5 cents per thousand. Is that per month, or how? 10.5 cents per thousand per what?
Per month.
Per month.
Mhm.
Okay.
Per thousand
So
per
you
month.
could say if they took 10,000, that would come out to.
Well, if you go to the sheet, and that's kind of what we're going to start with, that yearly premium, the top block is what we're currently paying
Okay.
for 30,000 worth of coverage. So we're paying $57.60 yearly for the employee. On the bid, the standard came in, moving it to a, instead of $57.60 a year, it'd be $43.20 per employee per year. But if you raised it, so compare that to $57.60. But if you raised it to $35,000, then the yearly premium is $48.30, still less than what we're currently paying per employee per year.
And DeKalb County is a suburb county of Atlanta, right? So it's got lots of people, more people than 250,000 a year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
So we could be happy with 400,000, right?
Well, but then you could look at it from the other way, because they have more people, they have the more potential to a higher cost to their
Well, that's
claim.
true.
So
And you can't lose, too. If you run higher than, they'll make.
Yeah, we're gonna come back and charge you more.
They also have more traffic, more crime.
I don't want to go back.
Been there, not going back.
So the request is to approve the standard and requesting from the insurance committee that we raise the coverage from $30,000 to $35,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Bullen, thank you, and seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Hey.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Anything else? That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, gentlemen, if you will turn to section 3 in your notebooks, we will begin with the general fund budget amendments, and you will remember that our finance director told us in her report that we would be doing revenue adjustments, so we're going to be dealing with that for each of the funds, and we will start with the revenue adjustments for the general fund, and as part of the motion, I will need to specify Stones River Greenway, Chamber of Commerce, and the Trustees Commission. Mrs. Nolan.
The good thing, and I'll just touch on a few of these adjustments, things that we've kind of talked about. On the current property tax, we're seeing an increase over our estimate of $685,400. I always count on getting some improvement. One of the reasons for an improvement, too, is during the process last year, we reduced the assessments that the assessors gave us, attributing something to the tornado situation, not knowing what it would be. So there was a factor that we did reduce down what we thought our assessments would be in actuality, and it came in better. So that was a good thing. That $685,000 helped to offset. If you flip over to the state revenues, that is on page 4. We'll see that reduction, what we've talked about on the contracted prisoner board, a reduction of $970,000. We talked about the excess fees not coming in like we had hoped for the clerk's office, but we've got improvements in the circuit court clerk fees and the trustee fees that's going to offset those two. So as a whole, all our exit fees are going to just pretty much come in total, what we had budgeted for. So after all is said and done, we are estimating total reductions after you take the reserves out of a net decrease to fund balance of $2,870,000. In that, as Ms. Ely said, we also need approval for the amendment to include increases for the Stones River Greenway, Chamber of Commerce, and Trustees Commission, which all that is a factor of increasing revenues for the hotel motel tax. And then the Trustees Commission is just general all over revenues increasing.
And that's a set number, a set percentage that we don't.
It's a
just-
percentage.
it's just-
There's like
and it-
current taxes is 2%, others is 1%, nothing on grants. I mean, there is a formula.
And through prior agreements we're obligated to do, so it's not like we're deciding tonight
All right.
to throw a bunch more money.
No, it's just a reflection of these increases.
Actual numbers coming in.
Mhm.
What is that? Is that the? On 4, at the bottom of 4, USDA school lunch program, is that
That's the
the
lunch at the
Free
juvenile
lunch.
detention, at
Oh.
the juvenile detention center,
Okay.
that they've qualified to get those funds, plus commodities too.
lunch and the breakfast?
Make a motion approved. Second.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Any further discussion on adjusting the revenues for the general fund?
On that page where we had the two offsetting, this is back on 4 again before the top. Can you explain the county clerk, the excess fees, why it's so low, what's going on there, and then that 50,000, that 375, and then the 50?
You're talking about the register of deeds, where it's just the revenues are not coming. Now, on these fee offices, they collect a fee for
each
handling the
transaction.
funds.
So-
Right.
So we're basically that fewer transactions.
Mhm. And so they keep enough to cover their payroll. Any excess gets turned into the county. So if the question is, why is the county clerk less? I don't know. I mean, I know that we're seeing it in her report that it's less, which has to equate to the number of transactions going through her office.
Okay, I just want to get that clarified, so. All right, thank you.
It's a healthy amount.
Yes. Yes, I mean, because it was, I mean, at 1 year, she had returned almost $900,000 in the good years.
Any further discussion?
The business taxes, you know, this is now being collected by the state, but the state is supposed to hold the clerks harmless for handling that.
That's what I was wondering, is that part of it then? Is that why it's showing it that far off? I mean, you still
I mean,
got the
they're
same.
we're seeing that, they're supposed to be cutting
To
it.
adjust it, because right now we're getting some from the state and some from the county clerk, so.
Well, what
this
we're
is
getting from the
first
county
year.
clerk is old stuff, and the things that we're getting from the state is since they've taken over. So eventually, we'll stop getting money from the clerks on business taxes.
Well, the titles on cars is less because they're not selling like they were. And the motor vehicle taxes have been down overall this year from the reports that we get on.
You'll see that we did have some reductions in our estimate for wheel tax. So that would have effect on her.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen? Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P? Commissioner Sandlin? Commissioner Schaefer? Commissioner Ely?
Yes. The next budget amendment is from the Insurance Department or Risk Management.
And I'll do this, and this provides funding for the new insurance director that we are less because we had to pay out the prior insurance director's accumulated leave. So this is a request for $2,050 coming from the insurance funds to fund the salary and benefits.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner P., seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. From the county attorney, Mr. Hudson.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing fine. Haven't seen you in a
Oh, it
while.
has been. See you again.
Would you like to start with the one for the?
Let me do it?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me.
Okay, okay.
That'd be great. She knows more.
Okay. The first is to provide funding for the secretary that has left. We're paying out her leave, and so we're requesting $1,000 from overtime to the secretary line item. That's the first one. And the second is to provide funding to fill this vacant position so that there is funding in there to begin paying somebody on June 14th. This would be a reduction of the maintenance and repair equipment, travel, to provide $747 for the secretary and related benefits, so $900 total. Provide that one.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
You got them in place.
Commissioner Bullen?
Hopefully by Monday.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer? Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll let Lisa go to court with me next time. You better than I can. Thank you.
From the Planning Department, Mr. DeMasi. And Mr. DeMasi has two amendments. Mr. DeMasi, if you will start with the traffic counters.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. I do have just a handout here for, if you'll be interested. Thank you. While that's being passed around, I'll just kind of give just a brief overview of this particular request. Basically, what we're asking for is to move some money around in our current budget. Again, we're not asking for any new funds. We're asking to take some money from our secretary line item from a position that was funded but remains vacant at this time, and move it over to other materials and supplies for this traffic counter. You'll see what I passed out to you. I apologize for the quality. This was a copy of a fax. But what we're proposing to purchase here is this package. which is about $2,900. Would give us 4 of these traffic classifiers. You probably have seen these as you're driving around, those little rubber tubes in the road that count the traffic as you go by. But this is a model that will also allow us to classify the traffic as opposed from just cars. We can try to tell if it's a car or 18-wheeler, those kind of things, on both lanes. Now, there's several different settings that we can use with this. It's a solar power item, and therefore it has a battery inside, but that helps a lot with keeping it out longer periods of time. We can use these for a variety of purposes. We can use them for, of course, for traffic counting, for identifying future road projects, improvements that need to be done in the county. We're also in the process of looking into the possibility of doing a bicycle pedestrian plan for Rutherford County. The Nashville area MPO, we use their methodology as far as how they classified roads and the traffic, and we could just piggyback on with their methodology with these. Also, just in our normal course of daily business, rezonings, Board of Zoning Appeal cases, a lot of times we need traffic information on those that a lot of times isn't available if it's not on the state roads, so this would be really helpful for that. You'll notice that the amended appropriation, what we're asking for is a little bit more than what the item is priced at. However, there is some additional equipment that would need to be purchased, such as the tubes that go across the road, the nails to nail them down, and the ties and whatnot. But I still don't think we'll need all of the funding that we have even with that. But with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
You don't want this other one out together?
No, it's something different, so we have to.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanders. And seconded by Commissioner Jordan.
I think it's a good idea. That way we can be a lot more certain about
Right.
allowing developments in certain areas and things like that. We can know what the traffic count is, because like I said in the past, we had to call the state, and if they've done the study and how far down the road it was, and things like that. So.
Plus, this gives us the ability to do either 4 roads at one time. We can have them all out at the same time, or if we're really concentrating on one segment, one particular road, we can have 4 different segments on the same road and get an idea of what the traffic is up and down the entire segment.
Does the width of a road have anything to do with these? I mean,
Well, a lot of it depends on, this, what you're looking at here, I mean, they make models that are more advanced than this. This allows you to classify 2 lanes, which means you can, most of the roads that we'll be looking at will be 2-lane roads. We can have it stretched across the entire width of the road. But, I mean, they make some that can have, 4, 6 lanes, but for our purposes, this would be good.
and this is competitive with other traffic counters? I mean, quality and the fact, well,
Yeah, well,
it's
this
made in
actually,
Tennessee,
yes,
right?
this, the gentleman that we're, he's on the state bid list, which was one thing that we really liked. Also, he comes highly recommended from the City of Murfreesboro's traffic department. They do a lot of business with this gentleman, this company, and are very comfortable with him. And he's actually let us borrow one of these units to test it out. Of course, with the flooding and everything that happened a few weeks ago, we haven't really had a chance to put it to the test, but he's been very, very helpful and forthcoming with everything. So.
We don't need to go through our bid process on this?
Since this is on state bid, I don't think we do, no, sir.
Motion to approve.
We
You already got it?
Call the roll,
Save that for next thing. Nobody's got a motion on next thing.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes.
Okay. This next budget amendment has to do with closing out the development tax fund. Current fiscal year, part of the development fund was appropriated to pay for the planning study that was done. This amendment, since June 1, we're now dividing the development tax as soon as it comes in between the general fund for capital and debt service. We're beginning that June 1. Well, we've got payments we've paid up through March, so we've got at least 3 more months of payment for the planning study yet to pay. So we're moving that contracted amount, budgeted amount, out of the development tax and moving it into the planning department. So this amendment is the estimate of revenue for the month of June and bringing that into the consultant line item in the planning budget.
So moved. Sorry.
Commissioner Bullen, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Discussion?
You can't just earmark it and tag it for, you actually have to physically put it in this account.
Yes.
More than the
You
rules,
will
ma'am.
see.
Part of the new rules that we're doing
Mhm.
on.
You will see later tonight, we'll do the other half, the other 30 into the debt service. There'll be a few amendments, and then at the end, I guess at the end of our last meeting, then we'll have the transfer out to the general fund. Step at a time.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes.
If I could make just a quick
Sure.
announcement. Speaking about our comprehensive plan, I just want to announce to the committee that we will be having our next steering committee meeting on June the 21st, Monday night at the Board of Education building on South Park. The consultants they're working on the modeling right now and the fiscal analysis for the base case growth scenario as well as the two future land use scenarios. That'll be the topic of discussion at the next meeting, and the steering committee will probably be selecting an alternative growth scenario at that time. So again, that's June 21st at 6 o'clock. So, thank you.
Thank you. The assessor of property, Mr. Boner, has two amendments. The first amendment, you will notice, comes from within his budget in order to fund in-service training for several employees, and that will be in this fiscal year, and that total amount is for $4,122. And you see the four different line items that he's taking that from.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Any question or discussion for Mr. Boner? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Abstain.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. And his second request deals with the Board of Equalization. Again, this is within his budget. $5,815 for the board members and the related benefits.
Motion approved.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner Sadler. Any questions or discussion for Mr. Bowman?
Is it gonna be enough?
Well, it's enough to take us through July the 2nd. If we need
Yeah,
more,
next fiscal.
we have it in next fiscal year's budget already.
I've got a question, it's not necessarily, it's kind of about this. If somebody wants to go in front of the Board of Equalization, can they still apply, or is that window already closed?
We have not closed it yet. It will
Okay.
be left up to the commissioners
Okay.
and the mayor to do
Okay.
that.
I know that you have to put your name on the list to go in front of them, so.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Geographic Information Systems, Mr. Robertson. And I'm glad you got the memo to wear your yellow shirt tonight. Yes. Your first amendment has to do with the personnel increase.
Yes, a minor adjustment to part-time personnel to allow us to continue a couple of projects that were sort of unanticipated. It may or may not, as with this next amendment, it may, we're going to be so close down to the wire that it may be that we don't even require any or all of this, but this will give us a comfort level so that we can continue these projects on into July.
Take them both together?
Take them both.
Is that okay? We can do that. Is it okay?
Two.
One,
Well,
we
one's
can do
GIS and
one-
one's OIT.
That's right. This next one, that's right.
This is Office of Information Technology on top of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Motion approved the first.
Thank you for the $1,000 here.
Second to approve the first one.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. And we wanted to hear this interesting description and discussion of what this is for anyway.
On the-
It's always so interesting, Mr. Robertson.
Well, thank you. I certainly think it is. I certainly think it is. We are able to sustain a $4,000 decrease in overtime pay at this late date in the year, and a $4,000 decrease in data processing supplies in order to infuse a little money into our $8,000 into our communications line item, which is going to be down to the wire. We won't know until, probably the 10th or so of July, actually what our final bills were that we received primarily from AT&T. Last year I did this budget amendment as well at this late date and ended up not even requiring any of the amended portion, but this will give us some breathing room, and I still do anticipate being able to leave communications at the $105,000 amount for the 10-11 budget year, perhaps unrealistically, but we do have reason to believe once again that we can get that below that amount.
Commissioner Bullen, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Pass.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yay, yellow shirts. Go yellow shirts.
From the Health Department.
This is a request for $10,000. We did this in the joint meeting of budget and health and when we did the school board's budget. Did you get to hear it again? This is the request for the health department to increase their utilities for $10,000 with a reduction of undesignated fund balance of $10,000. And we did put $70,000 into next year's budget.
Motion approved.
Second.
And that was Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner Sandlin. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. From the Sheriff's Department, here they come. Chief Deputy Nelson and Lieutenant Martin.
Always waiting in the wings.
Good evening.
Good evening. And if you will start, Regina, with your 6 amendments.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we can take that as one vote unless one of the members stops us and needs to ask questions.
These amendments do not involve any new monies, just transferring money from one line account to another. The first amendment is to transfer $600 into our detention custodial supplies. The second amendment is to transfer $500 into printing. These are estimated just to finish us out for the year. The third budget amendment is to recognize the revenue of $24,000 for our communications in-service training. The fourth amendment is to transfer $3,600 into our office supplies. And the fifth amendment is to transfer $4,500 into our data processing supplies. And the last amendment is to transfer $5,900 into our maintenance equipment to purchase a lawnmower.
Move approved.
Second.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Lieutenant Martin, are you doing the next one, the Byrne Memorial,
I'll do the next two, ma'am.
the next two?
Okay. The next.
Oh, did you need to?
Oh, I just wanted-
I remember, yes.
This is, I'm sorry, this is kind of I should have called you beforehand, but just, do you think that you'll spend this before the end of the year? This is on the money that you got from the Tennessee Emergency for the in-service training?
$24,000?
Before the end of the year, no, we will not.
Okay, so just so that you don't have to do amendment at the beginning of next year, if we would put the $24,000 into next year's budget. We're recognizing the revenue that you've already received for this year. And then we'll just add.
Add that to next year's number. Okay. So
that-
we don't have to come back.
So you don't have to come back.
That would be great.
At the end of August to ask for it to come back out of fund balance to put it into the thing, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Well, I've got one other question since you brought that up.
Well, you could still post
Any
it,
idea?
but we'll just,
Mr.
it'll
Bullock kind of
close.
hit on this earlier. How much money are you not going to spend that's going to be left over in the budget? Any idea?
No, sir. We will have some left over, though. But I know I couldn't give you a hard figure.
No guess or? All right.
Lieutenant Martin.
I have two things for the committee tonight. The first one is some information regarding, it's our annual burn award that comes from the Justice Assistance Grant. We usually share this with the city of Murfreesboro. The total amount this year was $93,049. Major Lester is going to head this grant up again for the upcoming 2010 year. Our share of that will be $46,524.50. We are currently right now researching some areas that need improvement or enhancement. We're asking the department heads to submit their request to the sheriff, and then the sheriff will hopefully make a determination of where he wants that money to go. The money does not require a match. It's straight cash back in. We're asking that we be able to go ahead and approve this with the city. I know that the city, Mayor Bragg, Melissa Wright, and Susan McGannon have already passed this resolution in the city level, so we'd like to get it done here in the county. It does have to be filed by June the 30th. That is one of the requirements.
Motion to approve the grant.
Second.
Commissioner Schaefer, seconded by Commissioner P.
And all signatures that need to be signed.
Thank you, sir. The next item will be...
Let's vote on this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. And you do not have any paperwork in your notebook for this next item.
It is a lot of paperwork, though. I can share. What we have again, last year we were had the opportunity under the COPS hiring program to ask for officers. We were not selected. There were several agencies in the state that were not selected that I thought probably would be. This year, it has come back up. Congress has approved $298 million to start this new 2010 program. We again are going to ask for 15 officers. We're going to file for that. I have been working with the mayor. I've been up in Lisa's office several times trying to get these numbers right. The great thing about this program, if we do win and we are selected and receive the grant, it covers all the officers' full-time salary and benefits for 3 years at 100%. The one condition is that at the end of the 3 years, we have to retain them for a minimum period of 12 months at the conclusion of that grant. Right now, what we would be looking at, just a rough estimate, would be right around $2.1 million to pay for these 15 officers. The grant, however, there could be a counteroffer. This is the federal government, and they may come back and say, well, we know you're asking for 15, but we're going to give you 7. So what we're asking to do is, again, reapply, and once we apply, we will come back to you and let you know some more hard figures. This application, they gave us a 2-week turnaround. That's all they gave us. We have to have this on board and everything turned in by the 16th. So we're really pushing on time on this one. We have revised several figures regarding salary benefits, and we've gone back and looked at some other costs as well. I did not provide you a sheet tonight because Lisa had gone out of town. I just got some stuff refigured from her, so hopefully we'll have something for you as a hard figure by next week when this comes up to full commission. But we're right now trying for 15. We want to get 15. That's our goal. So we would like to ask for permission to apply again. We're going to try one more time.
If we are approved, we could still reject it. I think.
You can still reject it at any time, yes, sir.
And over the next 3 years, we're bound to grow some officers. Anyway, you would think. Would they all have to be hired immediately, or could we phase them in?
They can, with this particular grant, they can be phased in, and obviously you're also looking at a heavy demand on training staff. That's sometimes not looked at in any service, whether it's the ambulance service, the fire department, the police department. You only have so many trainers. You can only train so many people. We would probably hire them in groups. You obviously are going to need time to interview, select, and you may start one group, and then you may have to start another group after that. Same thing goes with academy dates. I think y'all are very familiar that sometimes we can't get them right when we want them, but we can do maybe a couple and phase those in. So it'll be a drawn-out
That
process.
doesn't supply them with, or does it, with full uniform, everything
No.
ready to go?
That's what we've
So
been.
that's
also-
our cost there.
That's our cost, and
And
we've
then-
been revising that, and looking at, I've spoke with Captain Spence on personal uniform and equipment. Also talked to Captain Spence about the upcoming academy, if there's going to be a fee increase. So we're trying to refigure all this and make sure we have good data to give you. That's what we're working on right now. But again, the salary and benefits get us a long way, and I think it's worth giving it a shot. If we don't get it, like you said, and you can always, the committee can come back and the mayor can discuss this and see where y'all would like to have.
That figure you gave us on 15 officers to start with, was that also counting the equipment that we've got to supply?
No, that is not. That is not. The equipment breakdown is different on that. So we're going to have to, again, when we apply this coming week and we get that application in, hopefully that process will come through and they'll tell us how many.
And vehicles, unless we're going to use some of them.
The vehicles, you have to remember also, they're going to be in training for almost, 8 months. So the vehicle's not going to be top on the list. The training money would have to come in when their academy date comes. Personal equipment, of course, if they have to go out on the road, they're going to have that. So I think we can work that in.
Some point in time, you want to have a vehicle.
Yes, sir. And that gives us some wiggle room and some time to see what the fleet condition is, and if we have to put them in two to a car.
Does it take, I think I heard one time, one of y'all, that it takes about 4.5 officers to cover a patrol 24/7, 365?
5.
5?
5 is the average.
So this would cover 3 patrols in the county?
That it would, and it would also give us additional officers that if we needed more officers in a certain area one night, that supervisor of the shift, the lieutenant or the sergeant, may come back and make a designation if we've got, and I think you've all seen this in the paper, where we have certain burglary incidents occurring more on a regular basis than in other areas. We can maybe do a little bit more of saturation, or at least being visible, and hopefully do a little bit more of what we've got through that supervision assignment.
Lieutenant Martin is requesting approval to apply for this grant.
I'll make a motion to approve, because we can always look at the harder numbers between now and if it is awarded, then we could reject it at that time.
That's correct.
It leaves us options.
I'll second this motion.
And seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussion or questions for Lieutenant Martin? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ealing?
Yes. Anything else?
That's all.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next budget amendment is from juvenile detention, and the finance director and I discussed this today and realized this was such a small amount, but we do have to deal with it because it has to do with salary, that we just called and said, don't come.
So this is a request to increase office supplies and overtime pay. Overtime pay is $50, and total decrease from other supplies and material is $63. And it's this $150 overtime pay that caused us to come to y'all.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan. Seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen? Commissioner Jernigan? Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ealing?
Yes. From Emergency Management,
And really, this is us. This is finance.
well, it really
Mayor,
is, isn't it? It's
too.
finance, yes.
And we, the county made a change to the personnel handbook to say that in an event of a disaster, exempt employees may receive compensation for excessive hours, but at straight pay, with the approval of the mayor or elected official. This amendment appropriates sufficient funds to cover the additional compensation for the exempt employees in the Emergency Management Department. since this has been declared an emergency, we'll be able to request reimbursement of 75% of this to FEMA for the overtime paid.
Plus, we should get an additional 12.5% from the state.
Motion approved.
Second.
Jordan and Jernigan. Discussion? Commissioner Schaefer, you look like you have some.
Yeah, just a quick one. How many exempt employees are there in emergency management?
4?
All of them, I guess, except two.
4. Tara's the only one that's non-exempt, so the rest of them are.
We get 75 plus 12.5, that's only
We're only paying
12.5% we're out.
12.5, right.
Good math. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
You are good at math. Will you get-
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P? Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Pet adoption and welfare services. Ms. Seal, good evening.
These two have been here all through the meeting, and the ones that aren't even here were doing their budget then.
Yeah, we said something about that while we said that.
And you, yeah, your contributions and gifts.
Yes, ma'am. 2,500 in contributions and gifts to the veterinary services. This is just help us cover that line the rest of this year.
So moved.
Thank you. Sandlin, and that was Commissioner P. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you very much. We enjoyed your company.
Thank you.
And from the Agriculture Extension, Mr. Tuggle. And thank you for staying with us for a while. If you will explain your budget amendment request.
Well, we have to transfer from contracts and government contracts to cover additional ag committee meeting and the benefits that go along with that. Also, for contracted services, we have to have our backflow for those two new buildings tested. We didn't realize that until the last minute that we had to pay for the backflow inspection. So we had to transfer funds before they discontinued our water services on
Goodness gracious. Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner P. Discussion or questions for Mr. Tuggle?
I can't believe it.
Call the roll, please.
Going forward now, right?
We good, yes, sir.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
From the county garage.
This is a request of $1,500 from equipment and machinery parts to vehicle parts.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Bullen, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P? Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Employee insurance.
This is a request for additional $10,367 out of our bucket for employee insurance to provide funding for the rest of the year for the circuit court clerk judges, the juvenile court, stormwater, GIS reappraisal, and sheriff.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Bullen. Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Unemployment compensation.
This is a request for additional funding of $3,000, hopefully get us to the end of the year for our unemployment compensation coming from undesignated fund balance.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Call the roll, please. I'm sorry, Commissioner Schaefer.
Okay, so we've gone, well, this will be $19,000 worth that we've gone
over budget this year from what we projected.
You've had extensions of time that the federal government has
Okay.
given people, so they are on it longer
It's still extending.
and extending it. Yeah, you're right.
Somebody has to pay that.
We have to pay it.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan, Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P, Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Ambulance service, Mr. Nunley.
I'll do the revenue.
And yes, first we'll do revenue adjustments.
See, on this page, we have a net increase. Again, it's property tax and patient charges are the largest ones that we are having increases for, with a net increase to undesignated fund balance of $382,270.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Call the roll, please. Excuse me.
Commissioner Bullen, Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P, Commissioner Sandlin, Commissioner Schaefer, Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Next, we have a grant from Christy Houston and the related budget amendment. And this is the $300,000 for the ambulances. Either Mayor Burgess or Mr. Nunley?
Well, we've been pleased to receive $300,000 to purchase 4 new ambulances from the Christy Houston Foundation, and we ask your approval to accept the grant.
And the budget amendment, maybe?
Yes. Yeah, and the related budget amendment
Okay.
is right behind all the letters. And I'm sorry, I did not get that motion. Commissioner P, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Thank you, gentlemen. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan, Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Now, Mr. Nunley, if you will,
I might mention, whoever found this deal of 4 ambulances for $300,000, well, they're 07 models or something that were left over.
2007 model
Yeah,
demonstrator.
demonstrators, and that's saving us a ton of money. But that's good work on somebody finding that deal.
Mr. Nunley and his staff.
Also, to need to public license this is on TV, and anybody that may watch it, it's really truly a blessing that the Christy Houston Foundation decided to give this donation to us for these ambulances.
Mr. Nunley.
We're asking to transfer money from our communication account, happens to be in the wrong line items, to other supplies and materials. And the purpose for that is to replace several radios, handheld radios that we have damaged and destroyed while working in the flood rescues. $2,800 to replace 10 handheld radios, and then 2 handheld radios for our sort team. One is a VHF and the other one is a UHF handheld radio, $512 and $524. We also use mobile radios that are actually hooked to a power supply in our dispatch, which permits us to talk to Smyrna Police Department, Laverne Police Department, Rutherford County Sheriff, MPD, those folks that aren't on our frequencies. And we need to replace 2 of those. The radio total would be $4,954. We also would like to replace our dispatcher's chairs. Those chairs are used 24 hours a day in our dispatch, and we haven't replaced them in 5 years, so they're getting pretty ragged. That's $4,512. We're being mandated by the FCC to narrow band our radio frequency. Has to be done by December of next year. But it seems like a good opportunity for us to go ahead and do that, since we didn't put any money in the budget to do it next year. And the Rutherford County Fire Coordinator has requested that we add FireNet to our dispatch console. Labor and equipment for that is $1,600. Total for all the radios is $14,066. And we need to replace the computer that Tommy Brown uses to program the radios for all the different agencies. The his computer is out of memory, and Brian and OIT suggested that we could use, it would be probably better served to replace that computer and then format the one he has and let our sort team use that since their computer is on its last legs. That's this request.
You also have another one. If it's okay with the committee, we'll just continue and take this as one vote.
Well, I've got a question.
Surely.
And I know we didn't get a motion, but I don't have a problem with any of these. I've read the notes, and this didn't come before public safety, and I understand why, and I don't have a problem with that. Why are these chairs $1,000 a piece?
Ergonomic chairs that are made for dispatchers. Tommy could probably better address, although I sit in one every day.
Special chair.
Pardon me?
Special chairs, use 24 hours a day. Our secretary's got one.
Just to give you an idea, about 10 years ago, we replaced the chairs, and one of the chairs didn't fit one of our dispatchers, and so I just took that chair, and that's the chair I use, and my chair's still in good shape, but I don't sit in it 24 hours a day either. So,
I mean, we can't find anything a little more reasonable than $1,128 for a chair.
tell me what the...
Mr. Brown, would you like to
There may be a
could you
valid
join us?
reason. Since this didn't come through committee, I'm just...
The chairs that we bought 5 years ago for dispatch were higher than this, so they were $1,500 chairs. A heavy-duty chair that you use in a comm center or something like that, or any kind of dispatch center where they're stationed 24 hours a day, it's a much heavier duty chair, a lot more dense foam in it because it has to hold up for longer periods of time too, and it's just a more expensive chair. This is not your standard office chair.
So you bought cheap and you need replacement over 6 months a year.
I think your primary reason for doing this is for the health and safety of these people that are sitting there so that they don't develop physical problems, back problems, or otherwise.
You've got OSHA regulations and everything else to deal with.
Well, I might come out and sit in one of these chairs and be convinced. If you want to pull that one out, I can vote for everything else on there, but
Well, we got this.
till I come out and sit, till I come out and sit in the chair, I've got a problem paying $1,000 for it.
I welcome you to come out.
Are these going to be over there by the school board or?
You ready for me to go over the other?
Yes, please.
And the other one, we just have a shortfall in our utility account. It's probably not going to be $6,000, but $6,000 would make us feel better if we had it in there. And we want to transfer that money from other charges and evaluation and testing and uniforms to our utility account.
Motion to approve, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin. Seconded by Commissioner Bullock.
You can pull out that one, I'd hate to vote no on all of them, he's pulling these out of his account just for that one item.
I knew we leave it in.
The motion includes all the things that have been listed, Commissioner P.
I understand.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
No.
Commissioner Salmon,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Wait, hang on. Do they make chairs for county commissioners, mayors, sheriffs, assessor of property, county attorneys? Do they make chairs for those people?
I do know
all
the
called
keyboard
ergonomics.
thing.
Gentlemen, if you will turn to section 4 in your notebooks.
Where's that? No.
Solid Waste Sanitation Fund budget amendments, and for this fund, we will begin with the revenue adjustments and trustees commission.
Okay, this is a net increase to fund balance of $230,142, and the majority of the revenue is, additional revenue is coming in for the tipping fees.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner P. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen, Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. And we have a solid waste budget amendment. Mrs. Nolan?
This is an amendment that is primarily dealing with the floods, and I don't believe that we're going to be using all this money, but in the onset, not knowing how much we were going to use, POs were issued. That's why you see the actual to date. That's not an actual spent to date, that's just a purchase order was issued to cover just in case. So this is a request, and you can see the detail was for also $200 for the dump trucks, the city of Murfreesboro $50,000 for the knuckle boom trucks, and then Allied Waste for paying for the temporary site and flood debris.
Are we eligible for some reimbursement as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
It will all be
It will be
reimbursed.
reimbursed.
But in reality, we seriously doubt if this will be $50,000 in total.
In total.
It's just, the debris amount is just far, far less than we anticipated, so, and we've already finished. We've already picked up everything that was put out there for us to get.
You just didn't get all the bills yet.
But it will be way less
Way
than
less.
$50,000 for the whole thing. It's just, we
And
just
what-
didn't have that many days that we had to run and pick it up.
So what will end up happening is that it'll just close into fund balance what we don't
It'll
spend.
roll back into ending fund balance.
So we're moving how much total?
290,000.
Even though you know it's gonna be less
I know it's going to be
than 50?
less.
We do now. We know
We
it
do
now.
now,
But
but
when they
just have
made
to-
this amendment, they didn't.
Can't we change it and make it to 75,000 or something like
Well,
that?
I honestly don't know how much I would be in total agreement. I just don't know how much bills are out there. I know it's not going to be this much.
It rolls right back into fund balance anyway.
Right. Even though you do it, we'll only spend what we have
And we're going to get
to.
reimbursed for it all from FEMA anyway.
75, 12 and a half, like we said before.
I don't see us taking 290 out if you think it's gonna be way less than all this, so. More into taking out what you think it is. If it ain't 290, I don't wanna take 290.
Well, I guess
I agree.
the other thing is maybe.
Well, we've got a
between-
purchase order already
Well, we would have,
approved.
we'd liquidate.
We liquidate that purchase order.
I mean, we could do that. And maybe we,
What,
I mean, if you don't feel comfortable with this, I can, if we buy.
we're not going to spend the money unless and we've already used the knuckle boom trucks and the dump trucks, all we're going to. It's already over.
If I have $100 in this hand, and then I put 500 in this hand, I'm more likely to spend more. And I know that that's not what's gonna happen here, but it just sounds like.
I make a motion, we accept their recommendation.
Second.
Commissioner Bullen, seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
No.
Commissioner Sandlin,
No.
Commissioner Schaefer,
We'll put it on the chairperson, no.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Motion carries.
We won't spend it.
Section 5, please. The Highway Fund budget amendments, again, revenue adjustments.
Hold on. Let me get section 5.
Mhm.
Okay. You can see, of course, the increases to the local tax. The largest decrease, well, we have a couple of them, is the mineral severance tax and the wheel tax. And then, of course, the Build Bridge Program and state aid are reductions. So we have a net reduction in our fund balance of $475,416.
You need a motion to reflect that
Yes.
change.
We,
I mean, we don't have any choice here.
I mean, the revenue's not going to be there, so
I'll make the
we try
motion.
just.
Thank you, Commissioner P.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes.
Madam Chairman, just a request, could we take a 10-minute break, 5-minute break?
Sure. If we need to do that, that'll be fine. A 5-minute break?
It's fine
Okay.
with me.
Okay. Gentlemen, we'll take a 5-minute break. Investment Committee back in order after our short break. We should be in section 6 of our notebooks. and Mr. Sandvik has joined us at the table, and we are ready for his budget amendments. And we have seen these and heard these before because we heard these during our joint meeting with the Health and Ed. This has already been approved by Health and Ed, so
My daughter broke her foot that night. I didn't hear him.
that's right,
Oh,
you
that's
did.
right.
So the front and back page, there are 6 of them. To facilitate this, Mr. Sandvik is just going to remind us of the motion, and then we'll take a vote after the first 6. The first one deals with career ladder and extended contract. Mr. Sandvik?
The recommended motion is to amend $114,070 from career ladder revenue, account 46610, and reduce a total of $114,070 in related expenditures for career ladder, and to adjust extended contract expenditures as presented.
The second amendment is a contribution from Middle Tennessee Medical Center.
And this is to amend $10,000 for a grant from Middle Tennessee Medical Center and the related coordinated school health program expenditures, which is state flow-through money, and to amend $129,832 in Safe Schools revenue, which is also state funds, and related expenditures as presented.
And an amendment dealing with classified staff.
And this motion is to amend $140,894 in classified staff lines that are already budgeted, and $25,375 in benefits to other classified staff expenditures and benefits as presented.
What were the amounts on that again?
$140,894.
At the very top of the
Budget.
page, Commissioner P., on the back side, at the very, very
Oh,
top.
yes.
Yeah, same button right there, too.
Okay.
And then $25,375 for the benefits.
And then certified staff.
The certified staff amendment is similar. It is to amend $224,200 in budgeted certified staff budget lines and $22,400 in budgeted benefits to other certified staff expenditures and benefits as presented. And both of these amendments are just clean up for, as people come and go, any vacancies we have, items like that, and are a very small percentage of those total budgets for those expenditures.
Employee medical insurance.
This amendment is to amend $704,665 in additional employee medical insurance costs, and to reduce staff expenditures by $600,278 and $104,387 in related benefits in order to pay for it.
And retirement.
Yes, ma'am. The retirement amendment is to amend $435,264 in additional employee retirement expenditures by reallocating $288,776 from the line item for electricity, $71,009 from vacant educational assistance, and $75,479 in various other employee benefit accounts as presented.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion for those 6 amendments.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen.
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan.
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Mr. Sandvik, the Energy Efficient Schools Initiative Loan Agreement, there have been some changes, correct?
Yes, ma'am, there have. The school board just got the loan documents from the state on May 20th. That the term of the 3% loan was dropped from 7 to 5 years, ostensibly because the payback is good enough that the state feels we should pay it off in as short a time as practical. The $500,000 loan is still at 0% for 7 years. This change increases the annual loan payments by approximately $29,000 $751, but over the life of the loan cuts the interest expense from $127,279 to $85,624, for a $41,655 savings in interest expenditures. Our recommended motion is to approve the state's EESI loan documents for financing the already approved Excel Energy lighting sensor project. Initially, we were going to go with a lease purchase until these documents were ready. They came in time.
So we never executed the other ones.
Correct.
Please. Commissioner Bullen, thank you. And seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen.
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan.
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner Pease.
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. And in your document in front of you, gentlemen, we do not have to deal with the Centralized Cafeteria Fund 141. That is part of our 2010-2011 budget that we've already acted on. But I need you to go to the bottom of the page, Capitals Project Fund 177. This is a budget amendment.
This amendment budgets an additional $23,325 in property taxes that this fund will receive this year. $1,408 in trustees' commission, increases the fund balance by $21,917, and also increases architects' fees and reduces maintenance and repair services buildings by $1,000. Year-end cleanup. The recommended motion to amend an additional $23,325 in property tax revenue to the capital improvements fund, an additional $1,408 in trustees' commission, and to make that adjustment between architects' fees as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Bullen. Seconded by Commissioner, is that Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen. Commissioner Jernigan. Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner Pease. Commissioner Sandlin. Commissioner Schaefer. Commissioner Ely.
Yes. And so that you're not confused, gentlemen, on the back of that page, we have already dealt with the Capital Projects Fund 177 because that's part of the 2010-2011 budget. And likewise, at the very bottom of the page, that was actually what we did on June the 1st when we dealt with the school's budget.
Did we get an answer on the campus school joint deal there? Have we got an answer on it yet?
Since we normally report first to Health and Ed, I thought that was the route y'all would want us to take.
Just hope they're going to report that back to them.
So Health and Ed, and then Health and Ed forward it to y'all.
Mayor Burgess, you had a concern.
I just want to be sure on these energy loan documents that we authorize the execution of them as well in that motion.
Okay, who made that motion? What was that one? Can we look back?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Make sure that we are clear on that.
That was Bullen and Jernigan.
Yeah, Commissioner Bullen, Commissioner Jernigan. Yes, thank you. She is adding that to the motion. Mr. Sandvik, anything else?
That is all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman.
Gentlemen, Section 9 of your notebook. Mayor Burgess, amend 1 to agreement with Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities.
Well, this is where we're in our court system, we refer people that need mental health evaluations. This is the contract we have with the state to provide that at a given fixed rate. And all this is doing is extending the agreement we have for 1 more year.
Extending agreement for 1 more year.
That's right.
Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan. Okay, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan.
Is this less expensive by going to the state?
Yes.
Than we could get it privately?
I think so. And it's a reasonably good rate. They gave us a discount, you might say, here after they initially said it was going to be a lot more.
Well, they used to pay for it all, didn't
They did.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen.
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. The next item is to approve a license agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. Mayor Burgess?
This is where the state is offering to pay us basically rental for the space that we're using over there, providing over there for these, the soil testing, et cetera, program. So $9,300 a year is going to be their payment in lieu of us having our own in-house charging system. I mean, it's a change in the process.
Yeah, they took away our part of the permit.
Took away our permitting fee, and this is a small offset to what they took.
We're yielding 30,000
Well, it had
a year,
reduced.
something like that.
When we were in
Of
the,
course, the numbers are down.
it was as high as $26,000. It's fallen to under $12,000, I believe, this year. Maybe not even that much,
But if
but
things picked back up, we would have gone back up to those upper
We could have.
20s. But motion approved.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen? Commissioner Jernigan? Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. A grant agreement with Regional Transportation Authority for Relax and Ride program, and this is something we do annually. And if you will look at the second page, the route subsidy for Rutherford County is $11,557. Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan.
Relax and approve.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen? Commissioner Jernigan? Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Special Purpose Fund Budget Amendment, again, recognizing revenue adjustments, and this is the asset forfeiture fund.
This is the one that you can only recognize revenue when you receive it. And so this is an increase of $3,292.
So moved.
Commissioner P., thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Call the roll.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan? Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Next, Drug Control Fund Budget Amendment, again, revenue adjustments.
And this is one that every single line item, every revenue is being reduced for a total of $250,000 reduction.
250,100.
$250,100.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Bullen. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen? Commissioner Jernigan? Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Development tax revenue adjustments.
What we're doing here is recognizing the revenue the fund received through May, making that adjustment. So an increase of $256,250 for development tax, reduction in investment income, increase in refunds for a total net increase to fund balance of $91,437.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner P. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Debt service.
Could I have a question? On one of these, go back one other page where we had the 250,100.
Yes.
The reduction on that, I see the drug control fines, so we've actually done less drug arrests. Is that what that means? Or what are we looking at here on these reductions? That 200,000 confiscated property.
That's the sale of property. That's where that comes from. And as far as why the monies from the courts are less, this one on top, the 40,390, that's the, if I remember right, that's the one that comes from the state on people who report their illegal and pay tax.
Well, that's the $3,000.
Yeah, that's that one.
The
And
drug
then the other
control
one is the
fines,
fines.
the sheriff has some issues with some of the procedures and processes I think are taking place actually in courts, and he's trying to encourage the judges to be a bit more proactive.
Well, people just aren't paying the fines, right?
And
Isn't that part of it?
I think they're sort of waiving more fines than he thinks they should waive, so he's having some discussions with them.
I see some nodding going on, so it's,
Why can't we do some of that with the state, with the things how they've been charging us, huh?
Yeah.
And speaking of forfeitures, there is an auction coming up.
There is an auction.
It's coming up in a week or two to sell
The 19th?
the 19th at the sheriff's office to sell the seized vehicles and bring some revenue in for the county, so everybody needs to go out there and buy good used vehicles and
Confiscated
properties. Yeah.
so that'll change those numbers a little bit.
Well, that-
Maybe on
That's,
next year's
that's
budget. so-
taking that into consideration.
Yeah. But maybe the more people come, the higher the bid price.
Maybe they will.
Okay, thank you.
There's some drug dealers and some high-priced cars out here.
Okay, general debt service.
Okay, this one is, we have increases again in the various property tax line items and a reduction of investment income. Transfers in are higher because of our incidental development tax is higher. So we have an increase for the trustees commission and a reduction for the undesignated fund balance of $651,600. That's an increase. Increase to the fund balance.
So moved.
Commissioner P., thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. And you will remember that our finance director reminded us that we would be taking care of another $30,000 from the development fund. Well, this is the other $30,000.
This is the other half
So moved.
for June.
Commissioner Sandlin, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yeah.
Commissioner Stanley?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Gentlemen, the next item on our agenda is to reschedule our August meeting. Our August meeting is scheduled for August the 5th, which is Election Day. This room is available on August the 4th. How does that fit with your schedule?
Probably want to do it after. Don't you?
Do it after,
The election.
August the 4th, they're out there electioneering.
maybe afterwards.
Are you talking about Friday?
Friday?
Would you rather do it on?
Monday's planning, isn't it? Doesn't planning make that following
I
Monday?
don't.
Would the room be available
Following
on the
Monday-
5th?
Following Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Would the room
9th
be
is-
available on the 5th?
The 5th is
is
election
the
day.
I mean, on Friday, the next day, the
I
6th.
didn't check. I didn't think anybody would meet on Friday, so I didn't
I
check.
don't think there are any committee meetings on that day, so this room should be available.
Okay. Would you
I'd
prefer
rather
to?
meet Wednesday than Friday.
But yeah,
I had to.
it's me Wednesday.
Okay, gentlemen, we have a choice here of Wednesday, or Friday.
Because even if somebody were to win or lose the election, they're still on the commission until the end of that, are they not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, all the way to
Yeah,
September
until
1.
The commission until
sworn in,
August the
yeah.
31st.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and so, make a motion for the 4th.
We have a motion for the 4th.
5:30.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
A
We need a
second.
motion.
Okay. For the 4th,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, all in favor of rescheduling our August meeting to August 4th at 5:30. Please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then we will reschedule that. Mayor Burgess.
I'd like to publicly go on record of saying how much I appreciate the Budget Committee, the whole Budget Committee, and all the hard work that you've done. But especially, I want to let the public know that we're very, very fortunate to have such qualified people in our Finance Department, led by Ms. Nolan, with her able assistant, Ms. Elaine Short. We're just really blessed. And the work and the time and the professionalism they put into this is really outstanding. And I just want to say I appreciate it, and thank also Chairman Ely for your very astute leadership in this whole process. It's really been a pleasure to work through all of this with you.
Thank you. And thank you, gentlemen. Anything else that we need to deal with tonight? Anything else that needs to come before the committee?
Public hearing.
Next Tuesday is the public hearing.
Tuesday is the public hearing, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. here in the council chamber.
in the courtroom.
That's right.
Anything else that we need to bring before our committee? Thank you very much. We are adjourned.